In this video, I'm going to be giving you an early look at the brand new Five Nights at Freddy's Sanshee Fredbear plushies, as well as showing you a sneak peek at what Sanshee has coming up next for their plushies. Stay tuned to the end of the video to find out. Hi there everybody, today I am going to be taking a look at the brand new Five Nights at Freddy's Sanshee plushies. So a couple years ago now, we saw Sanshee return with the original set of Gen 1 Sanshee plushies, but remastered, and they're kind of dubbed as the Gen 2 set of Sanshee plushies, as well as create entirely new plushies for the Glamrock animatronics based off of their appearance in Security Breach. Personally, I've had a really fun return with Sanshee. I think it's really cool that they're finally coming back and doing more stuff, especially new plushies. But we have a bit of a controversial release today. For the anniversary, Sanshee revealed that they are making 2 new Fredbear plushies, which is huge because they actually said the original Fredbear plushie was a limited release, meaning they were never going to make it again after it went out of stock, which is why we don't have a Gen 2 Sanshee Fredbear, and we do have a Golden Freddy. But yeah, so people were like, oh, well, I guess we're never getting Fredbear, but then Sanshee revealed that they did actually decide to remake Fredbear. But there is a bit of, like, controversy around this release, which I will go into elaborative detail on later. And these went up on order around the anniversary, and weren't supposed to ship until November. However, I was at PAX West a couple weeks ago, and Sanshee's booth were selling both the Fredbear plushies. So yes, here they are now. We have the original Fredbear, normal Fredbear, and possessed Fredbear. So yeah, here are the 2 of them right in front of me. So yeah, these guys have kind of had a controversial release because a lot of people weren't too happy with the way they looked, based on a lot of the product images. However, I'm going to give like a comprehensive review and give you my thoughts on these to see if they're really worth it. So to start off with the main one advertised, this being the normal Fredbear plushie, this is technically a completely new plush. As the original was the possessed Fredbear from FNAF 4 and the one that's over there, this is just an entirely new plushie based off of what I can imagine is Adventure Fredbear from FNAF World, kind of combining the sister location plush Fredbear and the FNAF World design, as he does have the turquoise eyes, just like Adventure Fredbear does. And you can see that normal Freddy has, like, these blue eyes. So yeah, these guys, I mean, this guy's just so adorable looking. I mean, listen, I understand people aren't very happy with the way he looks, but I just think he looks really derpy, and I think it just fits Fredbear. Like, I mean, if you listen to his voice from FNAF World...
What's this, a space shooter? Holy crap, is that my voice? Voice acting? No! He's gone too far this time! You need to shut this game down!
Like, I don't know, that just sounds like this voice would come out of this guy. He's just so derpy looking and really silly. You can see he has a much darker complexion comparing him to Golden Freddy, which again, Sanshee Fredbear is literally just the exact same plush with a purple hat and purple bow tie, like the dark purple. I don't have it on me, unfortunately, for this video, but obviously you can kind of tell this is basically the same thing. You can see he has a much darker yellow fur, kind of more in like almost the green-yellow territory, along with a much more noticeable contrast between the lights and the darks. Whereas Golden Freddy, it's very subtle. It's like a light yellow versus like a orangish yellow, but still very bright. But yeah, this is like a much more noticeable difference. You can see the eyebrows are embroidered. The hat is a much lighter magenta color than the original Sanshee Fredbear that was more aiming for like a dark purple. The eyes are only have one highlight and are a turquoise color. You have the plastic nose in the middle. There is the freckles and the open mouth, just like how Fredbear is in sister location. Sort of similar to how the Security Breach plushies are, with the way they did the mouth with the tongue and the teeth. You can see how Glamrock Chica and Roxy both have teeth like this. But yeah, and then you can move on to his body, where again he's fixated with the same sort of yellow and light yellow, and he has this bright magenta bow tie. There's 2 plastic buttons, which are really cute looking, and a microphone, which is actually magnetic. It's a magnetic prop. But yeah, this microphone is very similar to Glamrock Freddy's, just kind of like sized up and like changed around some colors and stuff. But yeah, so a bigger microphone, and he can hold it, which is really cute. Yeah, so this is the original Fredbear. I do kind of understand people's complaints with these. One thing that's very noticeable is I don't actually own the Gen 2 Sanshees, however, the Gen 1s are easy enough to compare. You can tell that the Gen 2 Sanshees are a lot wider. They're built, the Freddys especially have a much wider body and a much wider head, and this is very apparent on this Fredbear. He looks a lot like, he looks a lot more like silly and puffy, as opposed to these guys, which honestly, like, I know that these are a bit worn over the years, but, like, these are a lot less stuffed than these. I feel like these are, like, very much, like, softer and, like, plushier, whereas these ones are a little bit more, like, I guess, like, reserved in the way that they're crafted, which is interesting. It's a different feel, I think, comparatively. Yeah, this Fredbear is actually very soft. He's, like, very, very soft and fluffy. The magnet in his hand is pretty cool, pretty noticeable. He is left-handed, which is pretty cool. I actually don't think, yeah, it's just the magnet in the one hand, so he is left-handed. One last thing, the character card on the tag here, you can see that Fredbear is the 9th plush in the set. The character card is something that they started doing with all the Gen 2 Sanshee plushies and with the Glamrox, and now they are doing it with these new Sanshee plushies. So here is Fredbear. Number 9, Spring-Locked Bear. There's nothing Fredbear loves more than entertaining kids, and he'll prove it. Just come a little closer, he won't bite. So yeah, there's the little Fredbear collector's card. He also likes singing in parties and hates crying children. So, yeah, yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I actually think that he looks pretty good. I do understand people's complaints with him, but I think for, like, overall, for going for a regular Fredbear, I think he looks pretty fun. I like how silly he looks. I think he looks really good next to Freddy. You know, there's a different feel, there's a different vibe, and I like it. I like that it's different. Because again, Fredbear should be treated as a different character. I like that. Now, a lot of my problems do kind of carry over to this guy, who is the possessed Fredbear. Unfortunately, my sort of, like, the shortcomings of this plush I forgive kind of don't carry over to this one. This is the first technical re-release of the possessed Fredbear plush. This is marked the same name as the original, however, it is a remaster of that plush and not just the same one. Number 10, Possessed Fredbear. So you can tell there's a couple notable differences between the original Fredbear and the Possessed Fredbear. For one, his eyebrows are a bit thicker and also pointed more downwards to kind of give like an angry look. The eyes are obviously the possessed eyes, so they're black with like the little white dots in the middle. He has no buttons, so yeah, just like Sister Location, this plushie has no buttons. It is attempting to be kind of like a game-to-life version of the Sister Location Fredbear. He has no buttons, and he also comes with the little walkie-talkie from that game. Little vinyl walkie-talkie, again, magnetic, pretty neat, cute little prop if you want to set it next to him. He looks right like this. But yeah, so yeah, that is the Possessed Fredbear. Now, the thing is with this one that I can't really forgive, as opposed to the original, is that this one, it doesn't really serve the goofy look as well, because I think people, when they like Possessed Fredbear, they like how ominous he looks, and like he is kind of creepy, and I think that the original Gen 1 Sanshee, or the Gen 1 Possessed Fredbear, did a really good job at keeping that creepy vibe. But this one just doesn't hit the same. I just feel like, one, the quality control on these new ones is just not as good as it could be. Like, obviously there are certain conscious design choices, like the wider bodies, that make sense, but if I tell you that the way the eyes look on mine is actually some of the better ones, it would be kind of an understatement. For some reason, these plushies have a tendency to have, like, very cross-eyed eyes and, like, really bugged-out look. And I picked out one specifically from the bin that didn't look like that, but if you order them online, you can't do that, so you're just kind of stuck with what you're stuck with. And it's a big shame, because these are really cool plushies. I just think that the quality control on these is not great. I mean, like, look at the way the nose is positioned on this. Like, that's bad. It's, like, cocked up and to the left. Like, it just doesn't look correct. I mean, compare that to, like, Golden Freddy. Like, that's, like, spot on in the center. I don't know how the hell they managed to mess that up that bad. And this one's even worse, I think, comparably. Like, it's even more towards, like, weirdly towards the center. And for some reason on my Possessed Fredbear, the head is, like, cocked a little to the right. I don't get it. It's, like, not quite centered on the plushie. So I don't know what's going on, because, like, I do really like Sanshee's plushies, but for some reason, these guys just aren't really living up to the same quality standard we're used to. Here is a look at Possessed Fredbear's character card. You can see he is number 10 in the set. He is dubbed a Possessed Plaything, Do you want to play? No? Well, that's too bad, because this Freddy is here to make sure there is no rest for the wicked. So yeah, he also likes vengeance and hates William Afton, so... yeah, I know that they say don't use merch for lore, but... I don't know, there's some interesting implications, especially considering it calls him a Freddy. And also, he likes vengeance and hates William Afton. I don't know, guys, I don't know, there's some interesting things you could pick up from that. But yeah, like, I don't know what's going on there, because, like... again, I know that Sanshee Plushies weren't always perfect, but they always at least kept a consistent quality control, and something about these new ones just don't hit the same. Like, I do understand the choice of making them wider, because I do think they make them more plushie-like, and I think that that's cute. Like, I actually don't mind the way this looks for the most part, but it's the fact that mine is probably one of few, and the quality control on these just wasn't good. Like, looking at the selection they had at the booth, like I said, I particularly picked out ones that looked normal, and even these still look a little funky. I don't know. I just hope that Sanshee at least listens to, like, criticisms from these guys and tries to move forward in making them less low quality, or, like, at least keeping a consistent level of quality control, because this is probably the worst it's been. I mean, I think the Glamrocks are still stunning. Like, I don't think these have a single real major issue outside of a couple nitpicking design flaws, but... like, these are just, like, I don't know, something about the whole thing just doesn't come together the same way. We actually do have an exclusive look at the next wave of Sanshee Plushies, as someone actually managed to uncover 2 of the pins of the plushies that are going to get made, because whenever Sanshee makes plushies, they usually make plushies and a set of pins for each character. I mean, we actually got a look at the 2 pins that are going to be for the next set of plushies, or at least assuming. Obviously, I can't 100% confirm that these 2 are going to get made into plushies, but... I literally don't see why they would make plush pins and then not make the characters. But yeah, so the next 2 plushies are going to be Springtrap and Plushtrap. First ever Plushtrap plushie, but yeah. I really hope we get a Spring Bonnie, because I really want a Spring Bonnie to go with Fredbear. But yeah, I mean, like, it's really cool. We're getting Springtrap and Plushtrap, and I actually think these pins are pretty promising. I mean, if you think that Springtrap looks a little goofy, I get it, but it's also because the plushie pins always look kind of silly. Even comparing, like, the Fredbear plushie to, like, the pin art that's on here, like, there's definitely, like, it's not a one-to-one translation, so I wouldn't be too worried, but I did actually make a mock-up of what this plushie could potentially look like using pre-existing Sanshee parts, and I actually think that it has the potential for it to look really good. And the Plushtrap plushie is so uniquely stylized, and it just looks really cute. I'm really excited for this one, because like I said, this is the first time we've ever gotten a Plushtrap plush, so I know, the character named fucking Plushtrap took, like, 10 years to get a plushie. But yeah, I'm actually really excited for the both of these. Hopefully, they come out in a couple months, or the following months, and they look really, really cool. Again, I hope Sanshee listens to some quality control things and just attempts to make some of the characters look a little bit more serious. Like, the vibes, I think, need to match the character. I think Possessed Fredbear needs to have more of a creepy vibe, and I think Springtrap should have that same vibe too. He's not supposed to look, like, super duper goofy. And Plushtrap, I actually think that the stylization on that looks really, really good. I'm just hoping that, you know, they listen to the quality control things. So yeah, that was an exclusive look at the 2 new Sanshee Fredbear plushies. I believe pre-orders for these start shipping in November. So yeah, snag them while you can, because they are pretty neat. And especially if you don't have a Fredbear already, I would definitely at least recommend getting this one, because I do think the goofiness does attribute to its design pretty well. I can kind of get if you don't want Possessed Fredbear, but you know. To each their own, pick what you want. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you all enjoyed this video. I will see you all in the next one. Goodbye!